All right, man. What's good, everybody? Welcome to another pilot episode of First and Goat. Today's Thursday, February 16, 2023. A show made by goats for goats. I am a goat host, Sal, and joined or accompanied by our fellow goat hosts, Luis and Adan. Say hello, everybody. Say hello to our goat heads,
Hello,
goat
everybody.
people, our sheeple. That's what they are, sheeple. This is a very special hangover edition episode of First and Goat. We'll get into it later. But we got lots to cover. No specific agenda today. We're just gonna go wing it, catch up on current events. I got a chance to go visit my buddy at Adan. Our plan was to go see Lakers, Warriors, and see LeBron break the all-time record, but unfortunately, we brought the tickets. LeBron doing LeBron stuff, went on a tear and broke the record a little sooner than anticipated. Broke it a couple games before that one, but it was still good experience. Great game. Lakers won. Bada bing, bada boom. That was good, and we got the Super Bowl. We'll touch on that too, but yeah, that was a good time. Plan on going back. We said that. I know we're probably a little late. I'm sure everybody had their opinion and their reaction to or their overreactions to Super Bowl, but let's start off with that. So I think we all had Eagles, right? Did we all pick Eagles to win the Super Bowl? Or Luis, you had the
I had the Chiefs.
Oh yeah. So you had the Chiefs and the refs.
That it was gonna be close. Yeah, I
You had
didn't
the
have
refs too, or just the Chiefs?
just the Chiefs. Just the Chiefs.
Just the Chiefs. So where does that leave us? I know I'm like I know I got 2 losses. I'm like what, 12-2, 11-2 or something?
You ended up 11-2 in the playoffs.
At least catch up to me, or did you tie with me? Or
No, we couldn't. None of us could catch up to you in the for the whole season or for the playoffs. But Luis got the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, good for you.
Big one.
How did you know the refs were gonna do that at the end?
Luis is all about the big game,
that's all that matters, man. That's all that matters. The big game.
Overall, it was a good game. I mean, I enjoyed everything. Even with it was a great game. We'll get on the call, but I mean, overall, like, I think the Eagles were doing what I expected. And then the first half I thought they were going to continue that in the second half, but that wasn't the case. They had a couple big plays. Mahomes doing Mahomes things. Was it Tooney that gave him that 65-yard punt return to put in for? That was another gimme touchdown. It didn't help that Hurts, fumbled that ball in his zone and just coughed it up, and that was just gave another touchdown. So overall, I mean, it was a pretty even game, but we'll touch on that last penalty. Like, I'm sure you saw it. The guy admitted that he held him, but like, how long did he hold him? I know he touched him, he grabbed him, but my opinion, I'm not saying it because I picked the Eagles. I'm not a sore loser. I won. It is what it is. But I just think that one shouldn't have been called. I'm sure that play happens every play of every NFL game. And they decided to blow the whistle and throw the flag on that one. But I don't know. I'll give my opinion. What's your take on that?
Yeah, so I mean, just watching it in real time, I didn't even think it was a hold, right? Like in real time, even on the replay, it didn't. I was rooting for the Chiefs, right? So I wasn't crying about it. I wasn't like, oh, terrible call, and I wasn't celebrating it either. I was just I'm kind of with you, Sal. I feel like that's why football's fun, though. I mean, like I feel like they could call a penalty on every play if they wanted to, and sometimes unfortunately they call it like in a big play that's magnified. So I didn't think it was that egregious. But I guess I wasn't as outraged as everybody else was. Like, oh, the refs. I mean, the guy did hold them, but then people want to add, yeah, but at the end of the day, he did hold them. Like he did hold them, so you could throw a flag. But people are like, but don't throw a flag because of the magnitude of the time. The ref's not thinking about that. It's like, all right, let me see. What's the score? What time is it? How much time is it? Okay, so if something happens here, like a small hold, I won't call it. Like they're looking at the game, and the guy holds them, and boom, throws a flag. And I don't know. I wasn't outraged by it, but I mean, I know that I'm being biased too because that was a big play for Kansas City, obviously.
You sound biased. What do you think?
So even though I picked the Eagles, I wanted Kansas City to win because I like Mahomes. I want him I just think he's had a great start to his career. So it was a hold, right? Like the guy admitted it was a hold. I don't know if you guys saw what Juju wrote for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
What did he, I heard about it, but I never got a chance to.
It's like holding me when it matters most.
God,
Like, so, but my only thing with it is it seemed like they were letting those plays go throughout the game. So all I wanted was consistency. So I'm like, oh, awesome, this helped Mahomes. They ran out the clock, fucking hit a field goal, gave this guys 8 seconds. It was a holding. There were other plays that were like PI that you could tell, I think it was also on Juju where they held his hand and they let that one go. There were other items so it seems weird. It should just be consistent. If they're letting those plays go, then the defensive players know how to play it. If they're calling them tight, then the defensive players know how to play it. It seemed like they wasn't expected. Like even he said, like I just thought they were gonna let it go. I did hold them. So there's nothing that says that the Eagles were gonna win. There's nothing that says that they were gonna lose, right? So they just robbed us of an opportunity of the Eagles to have the ball with enough time to try to come back and tie it or win it, because they would have hit the field goal. They had like a minute 50 something was left. They would have hit the field goal, got in the ball back with like a minute 30 something, 40 something. So it robbed us of that opportunity. And Hurts was like moving the ball up and down. I think they did punt it a couple of times, but he was looking amazing. So it robbed. I think they probably could have tied it up. We could have had overtime. So I was happy that Mahomes won. It should have just been consistent, and it robbed us of a good finish.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. It was a bad call, but it wasn't a bad call. I said, I guess he did help them. He put his hands on him. He shouldn't have, put himself in that position. But if you're gonna call that, like, you shouldn't have waited till then start calling that those penalties. They should have done sooner. Said Juju got held, and I think we saw the replay on that one. There was someone else that got held that was running downfield. That same play, well, it was let go, but whatever. At the same time, like I always, like I always say, like don't put yourself in that situation. Like Hurts, like say we talked about it. That was with real time. Like, that's probably gonna like hurt him the most when Hurts fumbled and he gave that touchdown away. That was the difference. At the end of the day, they just say that if it happened, they would have tied. And they would have had the ball with a minute 50, whatever, and no pressure. If they don't score, they go to overtime. It is what it is.
That was a bigger play. The fumble return for a touchdown was a bigger play than the home.
Yeah,
7 points.
Don't blame the refs. The same thing. Tooney, like 65-yard punt return. Like I don't know, do a better job on special teams. Like I don't know what happened. They fell apart, or they thought it was in the bag. Who knows? We can't put ourselves inside their heads, but. I still don't think it was a good call, only because it wasn't consistent. Do
you guys think it also mattered that the last 2 touchdowns that Mahomes had thrown had been on that same similar route? Like the guys came in and out and were wide open, in and out and were wide open. Remember and that was what Juju was doing. So maybe the referees were looking for that play because the Eagles got burned 2 times in the red zone for a touchdown, and it was just like, oh, but it's a holding, and they just got burned 2 times. Here's the flag.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because I remember, if I remember correctly, I think it was kind of late-ish flag. Like I think it was thrown when Mahomes started pointing and started, bringing the tension, and they threw it. I don't think they threw it, but I could be wrong. I gotta go back and watch it. But I remember watching. That's what I was thinking. Like, this guy, he's screaming, yelling, crying for the flag, and I think the ref threw it, but.
No, that's a good point that you guys make. Like, yeah, that definitely doesn't go with the consistency of the game. And I can't remember now, but I remember, and again, it's one of those things where like I feel like calls go both ways. It just happened when it happened, right? Like what you guys said, like what you said, Adon, like it was obviously towards the end of the game, and they were able to ice the game, pretty much eat up the clock. But was it? I can't remember. Man, I already forgot. But there was a play too. There was a play where Philadelphia, like I felt like they went in their favor, and it was also very. I mean, I thought it was one where their guy caught the ball, started moving, and he just got popped. Like it was a nice hit by the Kansas City defender, and he fumbled the ball, but then they called it. The refs like reviewed it. They're like, "Oh no, he didn't have control," which was total bullshit. He had control, and it's one of those things like, "Oh, but he didn't," and blah. He just got like it was timed so good by the defender, and it went to Philadelphia, and I'm pretty sure Philadelphia scored on that drive.
Yeah, no, I
But
think KC. So KC scored. That would have been another KC touchdown, right?
no, I thought it was Philadelphia. Oh yeah, I think you're right. Right? They ran it back. Is that the one?
Yeah, but that's the thing. I told them, like, I don't even know what to catch anymore because whatever happened to like two hands and possession and making a football move. This guy put two hands on it, and I guess like as when he caught the hand, that guy just trucked him, and he coughed it up. I'm like, like I don't know. I don't even know what to catch anymore.
I felt like it was a catch. He like caught it and was already going forward. It wasn't like he was catching it and got popped. He caught it, started going forward, and then it was timed perfect by the defender. And they're like, "Oh, he didn't have possession." I'm like, "That's bullshit." But whatever. You see that in every football game where it's like, he didn't have possession or he did or whatever. I don't know.
That's
But
great point. That you're right. I've heard a lot of people say that they think it was a fumble recovered for a touchdown. So that's a huge play in favor of the Eagles.
kept Philadelphia in the game because the momentum was in KC's, right? That's when they were just they came back. I mean, it was up to that point, even that it was a really good game, because they could have. I thought it was going to be a blowout the way it was going into halftime.
Yeah.
And man, Kansas City didn't. They kind of sneakily got back into it. It wasn't like they just came back and they just like chipped away, and
Well,
chipped away. And
if there had been that fumble return for a touchdown, it could have been 21-7 or 24-7 at halftime, which would have been almost impossible to come back because the Eagles, game plan, which was smart, was just taking time. They didn't snap the ball with more than 2-3 seconds. They were trying to do it at 1 second. The time of possession was 24 minutes to 36 or something like that. So they played the perfect game plan against Mahomes. Kansas City scored in every single possession that they had in the second half, and they had to in order to win by 3 points. So if they had been down by 14 or 17 points after halftime, they could have scored all those 4 times and still not caught up to them.
It's true.
Yeah, well,
It was a good Super Bowl, man.
I'm not mad. So I'm a big fan of Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. I like the guy. So I was kind of told that, and I was rooting for them. I picked the Eagles. When you bet, you don't bet with your heart. You bet with your mind.
Right.
Luckily, I didn't lose any money because I didn't put my bets in that side. I can only bet in the state you're registered in. You can only bet in the state you're registered in, and unfortunately, California was not that state. So I would have lost some money, but yeah, that's it.
You probably would have done a parlay with players, how many yards, how many touchdowns. That one you might have won.
We spoke about it too. I think I had Hurts over 10.5 rushing attempts, and he blew that one out, right? I think at 15, whatever it was. Yeah, there was a few. I had touchdown. They probably would have won, but yeah, big winner. The Eagles. But yeah, I ended what 12-2. Not too bad.
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty
11-2, baby. That's better than Nick Wright. Nick Wright's putting up banners in his show about
poker. Not that guy. Gotta go public. We gotta go public. Gotta start Twitter. Yeah. Well, having said that, let's move on. Let's see. If you guys want to touch on football real quick before we move on to the little NBA action. And then you were just made aware about this maybe 10 minutes ago. You had no idea last year that the Chicago Bears organization was in talks about moving the entire organization, building a new stadium out in Arlington Heights. And, we just, told you that, what it was yesterday. They finally closed on the deal. They own that property. Arlington Park is their property. And the whole plan is, I guess, if they go through with this, build a new state-of-the-art stadium, sports books, restaurant, the whole shebang, tourist trap. Not really Ville, but out there. So I don't know. I guess where I was going with this is how do you guys feel about that? They moved out there. I know they say, San Francisco doesn't play in San Francisco. The Niners play in Santa Clara. The Cowboys don't play in Dallas. They play out in Arlington. And maybe 4, 5, 6 years, the Bears aren't going to play in Chicago. They're going to be playing out in Arlington. So how do you guys feel about that? I'm going to be honest. I'm little kind of upset, sad. Like I'm kind of old school traditionalist. Like you play in Chicago, this is the history. Original franchise. You make it work somehow, but I get it. You follow the money. That's where it's gonna be. Whatever. How do you guys feel on it? Do you guys feel like you're still gonna support her, or I don't know? Like maybe that's a silly question. Why wouldn't you, right? But what's your take on it?
So, I think that we talked in other episodes. For me, football, I was more of a player fan than a Bears fan. I root for the Bears whenever they were playing a team that didn't have my favorite players. I was a Peyton Manning fan when I first started learning about football. So I rooted for the Colts against the Bears in the Super Bowl. But I mean, the Bears always sucked, and I was growing up. And
what? The White Sox always suck until they won.
No, they were good in the early 2000s, and I didn't get into baseball until the late 90s because again, there wasn't like a sport that we grew up watching in Mexico or playing. But so I kind of mixed feelings on it too because I just like I think Soldier Field is pretty cool. I like the name Soldier Field. I like where it is. It's right on the lakefront. I don't think it's that old, but I could. Because they've done some modifications, right? Like in the 90s or something, or it's like, oh, it looks like a UFO. So I think it's pretty cool to have the history. My only thing is like, how is how is it gonna look? Because you were talking about they wanted to build like a mini city with like the territory that they bought. They're gonna build a badass stadium, build restaurants, bars, like this kind of like community. I think that could be badass because you can't do that by Lakeshore Drive. I know there's other like downtown is not that far and all that stuff, but I want to see what their plans are. But I also like the history of Soldier Field and I just think it looks awesome right there next to the museums and the aquarium and all that stuff. It's just good history.
What's your take, Luis?
Yeah, so I'm a little I'm probably leaning a little bit more towards the Don. Like I think I'm more of a fair weather fan with the Bears. Like I'm gonna always root for the Bears, but that's probably the team. I've probably gone to way more Sox games and Bulls games in my lifetime than I've only gone to a handful of Bears games. I've watched a lot of Bears games because it's just once a week on Sundays, right? When the football season is. So I feel like for me personally, I've always watched football more from my living room, not in person. Like for the White Sox, if you told me the White Sox, they're gonna build a badass stadium, but it's gonna be 45 minutes from, where they're at right now. Like I think I'd be pissed. I'm like, well, what the fuck? I love going to the ballpark and blah blah blah. Because selfishly, just me, that's where I go. But Bears, I've gone probably to a handful of games. How do you call it? I think I watch and enjoy football more on TV. I think if they move to Arlington, I don't see myself, you know what I mean? I barely make it out to Soldier Field, making it out there. So I'm not that invested into it. Now, with that said, I do like me gusta el desmadre a little bit about this whole situation because it's a little political too. It's like, I think Sal was mentioning it. From what I understand, it's a little bit of a power move from the Bears because they're trying to negotiate a nicer stadium with the city. I think their contract is up or something like that. Or maybe it's not. Maybe they're just kind of doing a whole like Kyrie Irving thing to the city where they're like, fuck it, we want it now. Like, give us a better stadium. And the city or the mayor is kind of telling the Chicago Bears, like, there's no money for this. Where's the money going to come from, Like even Arlington Heights, like that, the residents there, they're not going to want to pay for a new stadium. Like it's just a power move. So she at one point has said like, fuck it, if you guys move, and then we'll bring a new team. Like, how some like the Jaguars, or something like that,
Oh shit.
Like, the Chicago Jaguars, and you can have
this is all fucking news to me.
right. So, but now
So
LA has too many teams, bro. Like, why don't you guys get the, Chicago?
I'm like, because like I'd be like, that's kind of cool, you know what I mean? Another Chicago football team. but she didn't sound so ballsy this time. Once the Bears like yesterday bought it, now she was like, "Hey, I think we could all come to an agreement." Like a couple months ago, she was like, "Fuck it, we'll bring another team, do whatever you want." And now that they did that, she's like, "Hey, I think it's best business for everybody if you stay in Soldier Field." Like she was a little bit more like calmada. So, but anyway, so I guess I'm kind of like I'm just very curious to see what's gonna happen if they go to Arlington Heights. I'm gonna keep obviously rooting for the Bears, watching the Bears. I'll make it out there for a game to check out the new stadium. I don't think I'll be that like heartbroken that they're not at Soldier Field. If they stay at Soldier Field, at a better stadium, no big deal. But it'd be kind of cool to see a new team come in for no reason than just, I don't know, that it's something new to see and talk about. But what about you, Sal? Because I know you are a true diehard to your core Bears fan. So I'm curious to what's your take on it, man?
Chicago Bears are Chicago Bears, and they stay in Chicago. That's the way. And that's just the way I see it. It's like that's history. That's part of history. It's like you're the original team, and you're from here. I get it. You follow the money. I mean, I'm not dumb. I know. Whatever. It is what it is. I don't like it. I say I don't go to a lot of games myself. I like to watch them from home. But just the fact that they're there, it's just in Chicago. I rooted for Chicago Bears. The Bulls play Chicago. White Sox play Chicago. Even like for the Cubs, they play Chicago. Like for me, for them, even though honestly, what is a 45-minute drive or whatever the case is, like, like I don't know, like it's not far, but it's far enough to me where like I feel like I'm rooting for. It's like a long distance relationship now,
Right.
What's that saying? Amor de lejos, el amor de pendejos. And that's what I've seen, I'm like, that's why I see it, man. I'm a little heartbroken, to be honest. Like maybe I'll get over it, but like I say, the start of next year, they told me, hey, the Bears play week 1 in the NFL schedule, Bears versus blah 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 at Arlington Heights. Like, man, is that really my Bears? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't recognize them. Like, are they my Bears? I don't know. Maybe I'll get over it, but it's still like for me,
it'll be a sore spot.
It will a little bit. It's like when it talks about White Sox moving to like what did like before like like a little Buffalo moving to Indiana or something like that. So, like if they did that, I'm like, oh, fuck, they're the White Sox, but like you're over there, man. Like it's like it's probably not gonna work out anymore. Like you know what I'm saying? We could try this, but it's breaking my heart over here.
Right. No, because
side question, guys. So do the Bears have a point? Do they need a different stadium or a bigger stadium? Because the World Cup 2026 is going to be Mexico, Canada, US, and none of the games are going to be in Chicago. And Sal, you told me because Chicago doesn't have a big enough stadium for what FIFA wants. Many people FIFA wants to purchase tickets. So do the Bears have a point?
I mean, I guess they do. I mean, I don't know how much money they get from, but like, I mean, you host a Super Bowl every now and then. It's not our Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying? Like to me, like I don't really care. Like, and now the city's not gonna get that money. It's gonna be Arlington Heights money. Like, so either way, we're gonna get that money. We don't even say this stuff like the World Cup, the same thing. Like they're gonna stay out there. That's the other thing too. They're gonna build hotels out there too for people that are visiting and want to stay closer to, the sports.
They could build one with a retractable roof.
Right.
So they could host Super Bowls and they could host other stuff.
It's gonna be dome. It's gonna be. I'm sure they're gonna do all that. They want to compete with others. Fine, I get it, but like I said, I don't know. I'm just.
So, that's a really good point, Adam, because that's what I've heard. That's the argument that I've heard. Like politics set aside, and where's the money gonna come from? And people don't want there's a lot of groups that don't want anybody to fuck with Soldier Field. They're already upset that they fucked up with it enough, But the crazy thing is, I think the Bears. I mean, you guys have gone to Bears games, and it's kind of stupid sick how the fandom for the Chicago Bears, like, doesn't matter if they're good, great, rebuilding, contention, like that stadium is filled. Like, I think to be a season ticket holder, you got to get on a wait list, or it has to be in your family, and you pass it that, like stupid shit like that, right?
Yeah.
And so I just looked it up right now because that's what I heard before. So Soldier Field, in terms of capacity, even with the modifications, out of 30 NFL stadiums, is ranked number 30 in amount of people that could be in there. So it's not like they're just being petty. Like The biggest stadium is MetLife Stadium for the Giants and the Jets. It holds 82,000 people, 82,500. Soldier Field with the modifications show at capacity is 61,500, and it's for the Bears. Every other fucking NFL team, you know, could hold more people. And I think the Bears are like, hey, we could make this, you know, bigger. We'll fill it out. You know, people like it's the Bears. Like fucking, it's gonna, you know, and then
Yeah.
not to sound not to get, you know, take the show in a different direction, but you take it to Arlington Heights, like that's their demographic too, you know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of it'll be closer to suburbs, right? I feel like a big part of the people that go to Bears game, the demographic is, that could be wrong. I don't know, Sal. What do you think? But there's more like suburban.
I think if you really care, you know what? I'm gonna lie. Like, it's tough going to Bears game. I've been there a couple times last year, the year before, but I mean, I think when they renovated it, I think that I'm not an architect. I'm not an architectural engineer. Someone is.
Yeah, I can help you with that.
But I think it was poorly designed. I think I forgot, it was an absurd amount of money. It almost costed like what a stadium costs nowadays. I don't know. I'll look it up, but right now,
Let's say they do get a new one. They're gonna play in Champaign. That's what they did last time, right?
no, I mean they'll continue playing here, you know, until they like I'm sure they still got some kind of lease here, so they'll
No,
play
but
here.
I'm saying, let's say they do get a new stadium. Wouldn't they build it in the same property? So they would need to, I don't know, renovate this one or demo it and build a whole new one. So they would have to play for a season somewhere else.
Oh yeah, or a couple seasons, whatever. Yeah, because they did Champagne. Yeah, you're right. But it is tough. It's rough.
Maybe Arlington Heights.
It's not so like as sexy as other stadiums. I don't need $1 billion stadium. Like I think a true fan goes there, has a good time, watches the game, you know, soaks in like soaks in the experience. You know, like roots for their team, and you know, and gets out of Dodge. You know, I think all that other stuff, the glitz and glamour, all the pretty stuff, the shiny objects, the restaurants and all that stuff.
It's
for the tourist trap. It's like for the casuals, you know, like
right.
you know, go somewhere else. You know, like I'm like a purist, and I just want to go get your game. But as I said, having said that, like you still want to take your friends, your family, your kids, and all that stuff. And it is a real brutal. Like I say, it's not very pretty to look at. You know, that when you're in there, it's a mission. You know, like when you go to the bathroom. You know, you're in line, or concession stands, you're there like 15, 20 minutes, or you spend like a quarter of the game, you know, in the concession stands, or, you know, going pee-pee. So it is tough, and I get that, you know. But
always have issues like with their Wi-Fi because they're right off by the lake. They don't got good reception. It's stupid. Like it's crazy because it's like, you know, it's the fucking Bears. It's an NFL team, you know, like they should have a better setup facility.
I just think, like I said, we were at Chase Center. I think it's pretty big for a basketball stadium. I thought it was pretty big. We're, you know, pretty high, but you still get good views. I think, you know, if you get the right minds, that stadium could have been done better. But I don't know. Like I said, having said that, like, I get it. You said you follow the money. That's what it's gonna be. I get the whole thing, but I don't know if I'm gonna be going out of my way to go all the way out there and you know, I don't know. It's just hard. Maybe I'm just a little better right now. I'm just a little hard.
I don't think it'll happen. I really don't. I think they're just talking shit to each other. But what if you know, the Bears moved out to Arlington Heights and they brought up another NFL team and they were the like Chicago Jaguars, you know? And what would you're still gonna root for the Bears though, right?
Yeah, I don't think I'll be like, you know, like I'm not gonna jump on no bandwagon, you know.
I got you.
Like you know, because it's Chicago, that you know, like go, you know, fuck it, you know, maybe Bears and Jaguars Super Bowl, you know, let's do it. You know? I think it's be a hard sell to tell someday, hey, you want to come to Chicago, you're not gonna own the stadium, you know, and this and that, and we can only hold 60,000, but at the same time, like a team like Jaguars, I don't know how many.
But the Jaguars, I know they probably want to move to a bigger market, but why would they want to go to a smaller stadium?
I don't know how big is their stadium, and do they even sell out over there? Maybe they are. They're a lot of bandwagon fans. Like, nothing, they're doing okay.
Maybe
you know, but like when they're like, we sell out, even when the Bears suck. You know, are they gonna do the same? So, but yeah, like yeah, go for it. You know, but I'm not gonna be a Jaguars fan or a Bears fan just because they're. I said, I probably watched like over 90% of the Bears game live, like since I was like 13 years old. You know, like The only way I didn't miss it like some family event or I had to be somewhere. But I mean, and this is
That's impressive.
so it's just like maybe 90. I'm not kidding. Like 95% is like this is my Sunday. This is what. So I don't. You guys are gonna make me cry. But they say like now it's gonna be a little. I am. Let's just say like they're in the right direction. In 4 or 5 years, they're or sooner, 2 3 years, they're Super Bowl contenders, and they win the Super Bowl. I don't know. It's nice, but I feel like what? It's I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll be somewhat a little detached and stuff like that. I'll be rooting for them, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm talking with my heart right now.
You sold me. Stay home. Stay home, Bears.
Amor de lejos es amor de pendejos. Google it, guys. Translate it.
Aren't you like 45 minutes away from downtown Chicago? You're 45 minutes away from the Bears, from Soldier Field right now, bro.
Let's move on. Let's move on because it's too soon. Hopefully, it's a bluff. Something else we got to catch up on some NBA moves that happened the last couple of weeks. I'm gonna start off with the first big one that happened was Kyrie Irving going to Dallas for Spencer Dinwiddie. I mean, there was other picks and players involved, but those are two big, takeaways. What do you guys think? I mean, Kyrie is gonna work at Dallas. Who's gonna play off ball? Are they gonna both play off ball? I mean, what do you think, Luis?
Yeah, no, I mean, I like it, because he's another superstar, megastar. Teaming up with Luka. I think he needs help, I know that's the big thing right now. Like, how are they gonna mesh in their playing styles? But I think they have some time right now to kind of like figure that out before they get into the playoffs. And Dallas wasn't gonna contend without another superstar anyway. I don't know if then if we're gonna be picky, like if Kyrie's the best fit for Luka's game. So I don't think that either. But at the end of the day, it's just two of them. Two superstars, so I think they'll figure it out. I think they'll be talented enough to figure it out. He's been playing well. I think they've gone 2-2 or 2-3 since he got there, and he's averaging like 29 points, 8 assists, something like that, And I think Luka's gonna take a little bit of time adjusting to his play too. But I like it. I mean, I like it. I think it's entertaining. If I was a Dallas Maverick fan, I would be nervous because they did give up some picks. I'm not too nervous about the players that they gave up, but then you did still give up some assets, and I don't know if he's gonna sign past this. It's like a rental, so it's like, to me, it's like they Dallas, they have to feel like this gives them an opportunity to make a run, for the championship, because I think he might just be a rental player. Like, this guy's not loyal to any fucking team. Like, what? He's not gonna stick around with Dallas just because Luka's there. So, but anyway, long-winded way to saying that I like it. I think it'll make some exciting matchups in the playoffs. I tuned into their first game, and then the fucking Luka was hurt, so I just watched Kyrie play, by himself. But I like it because I think Dallas just needed another star to just be in contention. So
good point. Adan?
So I think Irvin didn't play yesterday,
Yeah.
and they lost again. He said his back was hurting or something. I'm not so sure that it's gonna work out. I know that Brunson last year was also a guard that needed the ball, and they kind of, him and Luka kind of work decently together, but I don't see either Irving or Luka being that good without the ball. Like Irving and James, they would take turns, but James would always be cutting. There was always some kind of motion. There wasn't just like dribbling around. Irving and Durant, Durant could probably play with anybody and be successful because he could post, he could spread the floor. So I just think both of these guys need the ball. They sit out in the perimeter. There's no like cutting, nothing like that. The Dallas went to the Western Conference Finals with the team that they had before. So he is a rental, right? Because he needs the season to end because he got traded so that he could get a longer deal. I think he could only sign like a 2-year extension or something. So he doesn't want to do that. He's probably going to the Lakers because Russell and Malik Beasley and all those contracts and after this year. So they're gonna have the money. Do we really think that this is enough for the Mavs to compete for a championship? Or just in the West? Maybe if the Suns hadn't gotten Durant, I still doubt it. I still think the Nuggets are better. Grizzlies are better. So, and they gave away the picks. I get it, right? Dinwiddie and Finney Smith aren't like superstars, but I just don't see it working out. I don't think they're gonna go that far this season. I think they need more. Maybe if it works out, it won't be this season. Like it's not enough time for them to understand how each other's game plays. Like you saw the one game that they lost, they were both trying to like be like cool with each other, right? Like, oh, you got the hot hand, you take it. Like, oh no, it's your team, you take it. Anna, I want to share with you, and then they ended up losing the ball. So those kind of things could happen in the playoffs. Like I said, so I want to take it a little bit further, Sal, because all this mid-season moves, even Durant to the Suns, which I think we all agree is the best trade, right? The Suns are in better position. So as I mentioned, I don't think there's enough time for Irving and Luka to gel because it's the middle of the season. When is the last mid-season trade that you can remember that happened that ended up with that team winning a championship? Right? And that goes back to what you were saying, Luis, that you were saying like teams back in the 90s and 80s were better because they were together longer and they understood how to play with each other. And we all agreed that the Spurs, the LeBron phase were a team like that. They grew together, learned how to win together. The Warriors, they grew together, learned how to win together. And that goes to why LeBron is the GOAT. So LeBron James has taken a new team and won a championship on his second season. Every other team had fucking failures, right? They played together 3-4 seasons and then they reached the mountaintop. LeBron in his second season with new teammates, fucking wins a ring. And the only thing I can remember that 2018 season where they traded away Dwayne Wade and Derrick Rose and all these people and Isaiah Thomas and they got fucking Jordan Clarkson and all this shit. Remember that big trade that Cleveland did? That is one of the biggest like mid-season moves that I've seen. And he took those guys that he just acquired in the mid-season and he took those guys to the finals. So, I mean, I look it up. What move has happened of a big trade that has led to a team winning a championship?
So what I say right now, and you heard it here first, fellas. What I'm saying is,
have a chance to respond.
The Suns will not win a championship this year. It's not going to work out with the Durant. What he's saying, the Suns are not winning the championship. Is that what you're saying, Alan?
I don't think the Suns or the Lakers, who I think got better, or the Mavericks, or any of those guys. I don't think any of them are going to win. It's probably going to be teams like Boston or the Bucks who just made like smaller, moves. I give the Suns now, a really good chance of beating Nuggets or Grizzlies, but I don't think they'll be ready to beat the team like Bucks or the Celtics. That's what I think.
That's a really good point because you're right. That's part of it is chemistry. We've seen teams try to mirror, putting 3 superstars together, 2 superstars together, and it doesn't pan out. The chemistry is a big part of it. I was seeing it more like from an end that like it feels like Dallas had flirted with maybe taking the next step because how good Luka's been playing, but he has nobody to pass the ball to. I know he needs the ball, but he also they just double his ass up, towards the end of the games and have somebody else beat us, right? And he has nobody, so he always has to just kind of take it on himself. Now he does. I agree though. I mean, it's a hard I don't think they complement each other very well. They both need the ball in their hands.
But who do you think they're gonna leave open though, Luis? They're gonna jump him with 2 guys. The other guy's gonna stay with Irving.
Right.
Who's the person that they're gonna leave open? Like either you beat us or 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 we win, right? Like, who is it? Because dude, I've seen games when they had Finney Smith and Dinwiddie, and Tim Hardaway Jr. and is it Bertha or whatever. It looked like they could have missed from 3-point range.
Right.
Like Nico was just setting all these guys up in the perimeter.
And that's a good point. I think a lot of that is because both of them are players that break down, plays, right? They break down the defense, and so they like, okay, so Luka gets, he passes to Kyrie, he breaks it down, but or Luke, either one of them could break down defenses, right, and make a play. So I don't know. I mean, but a lot of it is because I feel like Kyrie Irving's he's a special player, right? I used to crap on him a lot. Like, I didn't think he was that special for a long time.
Yeah.
Right before LeBron started playing with him, I'm like, it's a big deal with Kyrie Irving. He's overrated, fucking just dribbles. You know what I mean? But no, he's really elevated. Like, he's become one of the best finishers, I think, in the NBA. So, but I mean, but you make really good points. Like, it's midseason. I didn't think of that. There hasn't been a lot of teams. What about Boston? When did they do their big trade? Was it beginning of the year, or
it was during the offseason? So I looked it up. So they said the 3 best trades that have happened. One of the number 3, they call it a Mark McGwire to Detroit in '89, but that was in the offseason.
Yeah.
Clyde Drexler to Houston in '95. You guys remember that one, right? They won the championship.
Yeah.
That was in the offseason. The only one that I could find a mid-season trade was Rasheed Wallace to Detroit in 2004 when they took down the Lakers. But that Pistons team had been so Rasheed Wallace. I think he's awesome, but he's not a Kyrie Irving or a Kevin Durant or some of the other stuff.
Well, yeah, no, you're right. That's a really good point. What do you think, Sal?
I mean, obviously, it's you had a player like Kyrie, you are going to be a slightly better team. You are.
Mm-hmm.
But when other teams made moves, better teams, I guess, you're not going to get you didn't get any ground, especially like, let's go to the next one. Like, after that one, the next big trade was the first one was Lakers, right? So Lakers they finally got dumped Westbrook. They got Russell, Beasley, and then Timberwolves got Conley or whatever. Let's what do you think about that one? Do the Lakers catch up to the Mavericks now, or what? I think if they're healthy enough, I think they are. They'll jump and they'll catch up to them.
You think they'll get to the top 6 spots? Because they're only like 4 games away from like
it's a big what if, because LeBron is not the youngest player, but he still plays. He gets a little injured here. I think the big one is Anthony Davis. I think he stays healthy.
Let me ask you something really quick. Wouldn't it have been better if they had traded Westbrook in the offseason for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield?
Yes.
Wouldn't that what they got now is worse than if they had fucking listened?
I've been telling you, Rob Pelinka's a piece of shit.
And then maybe they wouldn't have traded THT, or maybe they had and they got Beverly. They could have flipped Beverly or THT for Malik Beasley, who's a great 3-point shooter. So you would have had Miles, Buddy, and like Malik Beasley with LeBron James playing that most of the season. That would have been a better fucking deal.
Shouldn't even sign Westbrook to begin with. You know where I stand with that guy. But they did, and they had opportunities to dump him, and now they want to hold out. So, like, you know what Westbrook is and what he's done. Like, there's a reason why he's played in 5 teams in the past 5 years since ending that contract. It's like that Miles Turner, Buddy Hield one. It was
a team of yours is gonna pick him up. You're all Bulls today, bro.
We'll touch on that. We'll talk about that later.
I'm gonna see you in a Westbrook jersey. That's what's gonna happen.
I will. Yeah. But yeah, I think and it's a big what if. I hate saying that, but just like I say, the only reason I say it because Anthony Davis doesn't stay healthy.
Right.
But if he stays decent, he plays some good minutes, and like he had a good game yesterday. I don't know. They could jump out of these teams. Who's ahead of them right now? It's Lakers 13.
But
they're the Blazers.
Do either of you think the Lakers could win the West?
I think if they stay healthy, they have a good chance. I'm going on the record. If they stay healthy, yes. Bron's gonna be motivated. I think. Yeah, I think so. I think they have a shot. I think right now they're 13th. They're if they're healthy, they're better than Blazers. They're better than the Jazz. They're better than Thunder. I think they're better than Warriors, who are 9th. They're better than Timberwolves at 8. Zion's out, so they're gonna be better than Pelicans because he's not for a few weeks. And I think they're better than the Mavericks. On paper, they're better than Mavericks. After that, you got Clippers. I think they're like
the Timberwolves got better, I think, with Connolly. I think he fits them better than Russell, but I would agree. I think talent-wise, the Lakers have more talent than even though Edwards is playing out of his mind lately.
Once you get to Clippers, they're like kind of right there, but like I said, this is not the same Lakers team that they beat on. I said Westbrook just
so the Clippers got better. They got Gordon, they got Plumlee.
Gordon
this guy Highland or something from the Nuggets, who's a good shooter. The Clippers got better. So who are the top teams? Nuggets, Grizz, Suns, Clippers, and then you got 5 through wherever. It's all like right. They're all like together.
They're jumbled up. This is one big clusterfuck.
Yeah, I think you're right, Sal. I think it just depends on how healthy Anthony Davis, Like Anthony Davis is supposed to be a superstar and he's like a shell of himself, because he can't stay healthy, he can't stay on the court. I don't know, it's been like I think that's but that's the thing, he hasn't stayed healthy, There's nothing to say that now like he's turned the corner, because it's not like he's battling a lingering injury. It's just like, man, he's just like, and I don't know, like it's always like, right, is leg related, right? It's one or the other. It's not just one. It's just, I don't know. He just might be, kind of broken down, and he just might be one of those guys that's just not going to be able to stay healthy. When he was healthy, I mean, he was, wasn't he supposed to be one of the top players before Giannis, where people talking about like he was going to be the next, take over kind of LeBron's, spot as the best player in the NBA, and like he's fallen so down just because of not being able to stay healthy. So I think that's a big part of why the Lakers are, as far down as they are right now. So I don't know. I think they would have a hard time with like a healthy Nuggets. Even like all the guys you guys listed: Memphis, Clippers, Suns. Even Golden State. If Golden State's healthy too. I think they would have a hard time with them. Like it wouldn't be impossible, but I think they man, I don't know.
Worst trade was Golden State getting Gary Payton Jr., right? For like 5 second-round picks. Like that and maybe the Jazz. The Jazz just I know they're trying to lose. And it's like they keep on playing about like around 500, but those were the worst trades, but the Jazz did it on purpose. The Warriors, I don't know what the fuck they were doing. 5 second-round picks for that guy. You think the Nets could have gotten something better for KD? I know Sal and I, we talked about it.
Yeah, I think so. I'm really surprised, like, what for both of those guys, for Kyrie and KD.
Bridges had 48 yesterday.
That's what I did see that though.
And Cam Johnson like had 19 on like really good shooting.
Yeah.
So the 2 guys that they got for the Suns, Mikal Bridges had 48 points yesterday, and Cam Johnson had 19, but Johnson's coming off the bench and he was like 8 of 11. The other guys, I think Finney Smith was like 0 for 2, and Dinwiddie like 1 for 3, like something crazy like that. But they won. They beat the Heat.
And that's the thing. I don't know if like those guys, like they had an awesome game, but I mean, are those guys, guys are going to be able to build? Like when you trade KD, like you're trading for somebody you could build around, like a young, kind of like like OKC, what they did with when they traded
PG
Paul George, when they got the this kid that's been
Gillis Alexander.
Like you know what I mean? It's like a piece you could build around. And maybe I'm being unfair to the new guys that like that guy just scored 45, Mikal, right?
Yeah, Mikal Bridges, I think 45 or 48, something like that.
I haven't seen him play enough, right? I mean, is that a guy you could really build? That's what I'm thinking. Like if you give up a guy, like I know they wanted out Kyrie and KD, but then you should get somebody back that has that potential you could start kind of building around, kind of like OKC did, maybe those guys are, but I don't know. I just thought that they would get somebody a little bit more. Maybe it's
Somebody
that.
that at least had already made an all-star, some all-star
Yeah,
games, right? Like
yeah,
Sal and I were talking about like Ingram from
yeah, yeah,
from
yeah.
the Pelicans or Jaylen Brown from the Celtics, like a guy that's already. What about the Bulls? The Bulls had no fucking moves. We
I was
got
gonna say,
two
yeah.
fucking all-stars, DeRozan and Levine. Like, did they even? I wonder if they even tried fucking packaging any of that shit to get
Vujovic too, right?
Durant.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like they did. There was no rumors, nothing, no talks. But I mean, obviously, that was they were desperate. I mean, I don't know. It just
I kind of like I think that I'm saying I think they could have done better. They could have gotten Ingram or Jaylen Brown or somebody that was already like a guy that scores 20 something points, like he plays a little bit like Durant. But I kind of like the way they fit. To be honest, the Nets, it reminds me a little bit of remember before Dwayne Wade was Dwayne Wade when he was like in his first and second year, they had
Yeah.
Karan Butler and Lamar Odom.
Odom, yeah.
These like really good players before they
Yeah.
traded into the Lakers for Shaq. And Stan Van Gundy, like had them playing really well. Like they weren't gonna win a championship.
Right.
They played really solid basketball. And I don't know how Jacques Vaughn is. He seems to be a good coach. But I could see somebody like a Mark Jackson going in there, like what he kind of did with the Warriors, and making that Nets team like competitive. I don't, who knows what Cam Johnson and Bridges are gonna turn out to be. But I think they could play some fucking solid basketball. Like they could be in the 4 through, 6, 7 seed every season. They got talent.
Yeah, they're like a long team too, right? Like I think all those guys are like long as hell, kind of athletic.
Yeah,
So
they play good defense.
yeah.
Bridges and Finney Smith, like they got some length. They could play defense, and if they have like the Celtics are fucking they almost beat the Bucks without Tatum and Jason Brown and Hartford because they just play solid basketball.
Right. Right. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, and then they got a shitload of picks, right? They got a good amount of picks, I guess, from people for the next couple of years. So I don't know, but with such a big, I mean, it's hard. Like I guess I didn't even look at it that way then. Like with Brooklyn, like I feel like they've been a disaster, for a while. Like I feel like they try, and I don't know I don't know what it is. Like even when they try to remember they Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And then
Johnson, right?
Yeah, that didn't work out, and they, this was a disaster with fucking Harden and Irving, and they're like, I don't understand how you not make how do but then those guys only played like a handful of games together, like
yeah.
I read that this whole sit out thing, right, because of the vaccine, and Durant was hurt, and it was just, and then Harden wanted out, like it was just like. I think it's just been a disaster for them. Like, so maybe they're like, fuck it, let's just restart. You know what I mean? Like, let's just.
Yeah, and if things are as bad as like Irving made it seem, and what it seems like they are, because Harden wanted out, and then Durant wanted out this offseason, and all this shit, like they say, is dysfunctional. So maybe they just don't know what the fuck they're doing. Even if they have some nice talent, they just won't be able to put it together.
What do you think about I know this guy C blocked it, but what if the Lakers would have gotten Kyrie Irving? What if you think that would have been a move that would have probably put him over the top? Or
Yeah, man, that would have been a game changer for them. Like, because I mean, obviously, LeBron and Kyrie already have history and chemistry. I think they play very well off. Like Aldan was saying, they play well off each other, especially in this stage in LeBron's career. Where he, I think that LeBron could play off the ball too. He doesn't need the ball in his hand all the time now, and so I think so. I think that would have been a game changer for them. That would have been a better fit for Kyrie too. They're saying that after this year, that's where he's gonna end up signing, right? That's where he's gonna fucking go to.
That's what I'm thinking. The Lakers are gonna have the cap space, and that's where he wanted to go. So that's the other thing. Like, the Nets traded Durant to the location that he wanted to go, and for Irving, they're like, "Oh, you want to go to the Lakers? Oh yeah, fuck you, you're going to the Nets."
Who knows? Maybe he just didn't want to go to the Lakers because that
I think they
he was more
changed
shot
it.
at Kyrie than. Oh
And
no,
this is a
Kyrie
little-
does another. Like maybe he won't play Lakers. Then who knows? Before the end of the season, he signed an extension with Dallas. So until I see it, until it's fucking official, I'm not gonna. Not with that guy.
And it's a little off topic, but you guys follow the Lakers pretty closely. And I saw a little blurb, like clickbait story, and I didn't get to check it out. And Patrick Beverly was talking shit about the Lakers, like I guess like the locker room and stuff. Did you guys get a chance to read
Oh,
what
I
he was
didn't
talking about?
What was that? Something about didn't he call like Westbrook a vampire or something? Or I don't know.
Oh, was he talking about Westbrook? Is that who he was kind of?
I thought that I don't know. I thought somebody was called a vampire, and I
You're right. I think
I assumed it was Westbrook.
I'm at the same thing as you, Luis. I saw something like a YouTube video and
Yeah.
know that Patrick Beverly says whatever, but I didn't click on it, so I don't know what he's saying.
Yeah, I was just curious and stuff. And but Patrick Beverly, I mean, what the fuck? Like he
What a terrible fucking trade.
right.
Yeah, Mobamba. What do you think about Mobamba?
Oh, Mobamba? Yeah. I still think, but I guess Detroit didn't want to do it. They could have packaged Beverly and Walker for Bogdanovich from the Pistons. That would have been good.
You should put some of the traits in there. You had a bunch of good ones. Did you save any of those?
I think they're in our chat.
Oh, okay.
Some of them I deleted them from my phone to make space. But
Well, you definitely had some better ones out there.
other stuff.
Yeah, I was disappointed with the Bulls though. Like they didn't do shit. I think their best move right now, like they're talking about signing Westbrook once he,
Shouldn't at this point, don't they want to stay in the lottery? Like I don't care if it's only like a 3% chance. They got Derrick Rose when they had a 1% chance to get the number 1 pick. Like fuck it. Just fuck it. Let's see if we could get this French guy.
Right. That'd be
I'm
nuts.
serious. What's the point of even trying to make the playoffs? I don't get it.
Get it. And they look terrible. Yesterday, did they end up winning yesterday? They were up big. They lost.
They
Were
lost.
killing.
They gave up a 21-point lead. I think.
There you go. Okay. Yeah, they were up by like 20 something, 21. And then before I left, I was having dinner somewhere, and then I saw the other team was within 3 points. Was Indiana maybe they're playing?
Yeah, Indiana. Yeah, Buddy Hill had 27 points in the second half.
How the fuck are they within 3? And I'm like, well, maybe they hold on. I didn't even, and they fucking lost. Like, dude.
The Bucks beat them today. I think the Bulls have given up like 24-point lead, a 22-point lead, a 21-point lead, and Rosen is hurt. Like, what's the point?
Yeah, nah, they
Sit them down. Just sit them all down. Fucking.
They should have traded. They should have traded them. They should have traded DeRozan. They should have traded. That's would have been a great way to get rid of that contract, man. That bad knee.
Does Lonzo Ball make that much of a difference? Because they were number 1 last season.
Oh, I mean, I think when he was on the court, he was a solid player, but like he has this lingering. They're calling him like similar to like what not the same injury that Brandon Roy has, but kind of the same situation where he's just never going to be fully healthy,
Yeah. Okay. Brandon Roy only played like 6-7 seasons, right?
Right. Yep.
Well,
We got the Bulls. What should the Bulls do, Sal?
They should have sold.
Yeah.
Get the same team intact is not doing anything. So what is going to change now?
I was reading somewhere that they're actually like both DeRozan, Vujicic, and Levine are actually having better seasons than last year. Like more productive, better field goal percentage, blah blah blah. Where is it?
Vujicic, I think, has the most consecutive double games right now of the season. Some stupid stat that I saw in there. I'm like, how's that even possible? Like, he's not that good. I don't get it. I gotta look that up. Doesn't make sense.
We got the All-Star game going on. Who do you guys got? LeBron and Giannis captains. I think
I'm
LeBron's
so
gonna be the.
I am so confused. Have you guys watched the last couple of years? I've fallen out of. I have not watched an All-Star game in a while, man.
Oh no, I don't. I still watch them. They're still fun for me.
I still watch them.
Instead of
And
the
I-
format, so it's
it-
like I don't know if you watch it. So like once the fourth quarter starts, there's not like a time. So you score whatever X amount, and then they just say the score's 100 to 110. You add 21 points to the highest score, and then like whoever gets to that first wins.
It might be 24 for Kobe.
the
Something-
Kobe thing.
Something dumb like
Remember
that.
Oh, they're still doing that. So they're still doing I thought it was just that 1 year after he passed away.
It was
honor him.
it was so exciting. It actually was. It actually did make it
The last
exciting.
couple games are pretty good, but I don't know. You see how they pick the teams, or you don't. So you don't
I
pick.
don't-
It's not East versus
I
West.
don't-
No.
I always see the highlights, like where it's two guys, like it's Giannis and LeBron, right?
They're gonna
The-
do it differently.
The two vote getters, the highest vote getters, which it's been LeBron, Giannis for the past few years.
Okay.
They're the captains, and they do a draft. And they pick. So it's not. It's
I want to watch that. I
so
see
like,
highlights of it. All right, and then the TNT guys are there too, right?
actually, I lied. I'm looking
It
at the
was-
roster.
it was,
They didn't do a draft this year.
They're not. This year's gonna be different. So last year was
Yeah.
KD and LeBron, and that shit was funny because James Harden went last, because and LeBron did it on purpose, and KD is like he didn't want to pick him, and Charles Barkley was just funny, you know. Like,
He didn't
but
pick
this year they're gonna do it like supposedly like you go out to the park, and there's like 10 people, 2 captains, and you just pick them live right before the game.
Holy shit, that's pretty cool. That's different.
So LeBron's got the first pick, so it's gonna be whoever was selected as the starters. He's just gonna pick them right before the game.
Oh, because I'm looking up on NBA.com, and I thought that it made it seem like it was before it was Team LeBron versus Team KD, or in this case Team Giannis. And it says Western Conference starters. So I guess those are starters, but they're not on the team. So they're gonna draft them?
They're the Western Conference selector starters and Eastern Conference, but at the end they just play for Team LeBron or Team Giannis. So it doesn't
Before they
matter.
On Thursday, they got NBA and TNT. They will do the draft like the Thursday or the second, the Thursday before or whatever.
That's what they used to do.
Yeah. So now they're gonna do them live.
Yeah, on Sunday.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I wish they had.
They're pretty entertaining. Why didn't you watch them? I gotta watch them.
No, I always watch. I always liked them. The last couple of years, I've just missed them for like just random reasons, you know. Have
It's
some
not that important.
already had something going on, but I want to watch this year's. The one that I always liked growing up was the slam dunk contest, man. But now, like, I
And
really like
soccer, I still tune in. Fucking whatever.
sucks, man. Like, I don't understand. Like, why are they just trying to give a chance to the newer guys, or like why are the guys that everybody wants to see in the contest just they don't want to do it, or I don't get it. What's the deal with that? Like,
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think part of it's like the bar set so high, but you don't really like what's done is done. Like you can't like what more can you expect from a human body to do? You know how hard are you going to jump and do all these 360 turns? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think the bars is set up. They want better and better here. Like they don't evolve that fast. I don't know.
But the people they picked, like Luis, you were saying, the people that went last year they weren't even like great dunkers just in general. So it's not even they weren't creative or they couldn't even do some of the old dunks, but they weren't just that good. They just had on NBA TV the 2016 and the 2017. Remember Aaron Gordon? Like 2016 was Aaron Gordon versus, and then 2017 Aaron Gordon versus Jones. I forgot his first name. He's with the Bulls now. Dude, those were good. Those were some awesome.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. So like, I know what you're saying. Like, like it's all been done, right? There's no more element of surprise, right? Like they've done all the gimmicky dunks, but there's something. Some of those guys are like special athletes, and they just look better doing it. Like even Levine, like when he was, in the contest, like. They just whatever it is, however they move, how they jump. Some guys are like more graceful, some guys are more powerful. They seem to be in the air longer than some of the other guys, So I guess there's to be really corny, there is like an art to it. And man, some of these guys are they're just going out there. I don't know. I don't understand. It'd be cool to see, but they're all hurt, right? What's this? What the hell is the guy from the Pelicans called?
Zion.
Yeah, Zion. Um, even fucking Levine, man. And the fucking the guy from the Memphis the fucking oh my god, I'm blanking on it. Yeah. Like,
Ja would look fucking awesome.
like they look, and a lot of those are in-game dunks, right? Because they're dunking on somebody, right? Or through a bunch of people. But I mean, I don't know, man. I wish that they would bring that back. Just how they made the All-Star game interesting again, Like, okay, let's get captains, let's have them pick, let's, change it up. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe put a cash prize, do something NBA to get the big guys wanting to the big
I think
name.
they're making the 3-point challenge now the nightcap event. Remember how it was the dunk contest? Everybody like you did
That's what I'm talking about.
Skills challenge, the 3-pointer, and everybody was like the dunk contest. Now people get excited about the 3-point contest more than the dunks.
Why didn't they invite the kid from Brooklyn? The kid that's like has the highest 3-point percentage. I thought.
Watanabe?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yes,
the 3-point contest. Like,
do people have to sign up? Like, oh, I'll do it, or do people get?
The NBA picks them.
Yeah, I have no clue how I think Giannis is doing the skills challenge. So how did he just like decide to do it? That guy Anthony Edwards from the T-Wolves, I would like to see him in a dunk contest. Him, Zion, that would be fucking good. LeBron, come on, LeBron, you're 21. Do it.
I'd be scared, LeBron. No, the reason I asked about it, I thought the teams were already set because I was looking at the odds. Not that I gamble or anything like that, but
well, I think
LeBron's team is already it's favored already. It's minus 145 to Giannis plus 125. So that's why I thought
LeBron has won every year that they've done this thing where you get captains and captains pick the teams. LeBron has won like 5 or 6 years in a row.
Shit, I didn't know that.
And I don't know if you go back, Giannis is not very good at like picking players.
he's going up against Le GM, so it's gonna be pretty tough.
He's probably gonna do worse now that it's live, man, on the spot. Like I don't know time. Well, I know they do prepare, I guess, but I don't know. That's kind of cool. I want to check it out.
So is Durant playing? That's like I don't know exactly who's playing or not.
I think he is. I think he's. I thought that he was.
But he's not playing right now. The Suns are playing the Clippers, and he didn't play today. So is he gonna play in the All-Star game on Sunday? That seems weird.
And then you talking about like a bunch of no-names for the dunk contest. You got Martin Jr., Kenyon Martin. I don't know, Jericho Sims, Trey Murphy the third. But then like the favorite is. Do you guys remember Mac McClung? The white kid played for
Philly.
High school. Yeah, he's in Philly right now, but he's like a high school standout. And then he played for Georgetown, Texas Tech. And then I think when he signed up for it, he was like in the D League. So they opened up the dunk contest to the G League players. He's not in the G League now. I think he's like on a 2-year contract right now for the Sixers. But I just bring that up because brings a bunch of nobodies. Like this guy was barely an NBA player. But I'm pretty sure when he got invited and signed up for it, it was he was in the G League at the time. But he's
so that's what they gotta start bringing in people from the G League in order to get some athletic dunkers, right? Like you were saying, like you're right. All that stuff that you were saying is true.
Man,
people contest. I don't know who you got. So Lillard's a favorite, but you got Buddy Hield. They're both the favorites. Tatum, Hero, Halliburton, Marketing, and Randall. I think he just joined yesterday or something like that.
Who? Randall? Which Randall?
New York?
Julius Randall. New York Randall.
The 3-point contest?
3-point. He got a decent shot, but he's out there. He's plus 700. Lillard plus 435. Don't give me that look. You guys wanted names. We're giving you names. You were just crying about nobodies. This is somebody.
Oh man.
Lillard, Buddy Hield, Tatum, Huter, Tyler Hero, Halliburton, Marketing, Randall.
I don't think
Now, who you got to go with?
fast enough. I don't think Tatum shoots it fast enough.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I want
good.
to go with my guy Lillard, but only if he's shooting from like not the 3-point line, but what is it?
He's just
Closer to
that
the half
guy.
court. Yeah,
Oh, come on.
they should set him up
That's
right
not-
there. He'll fucking and he'll kill it, man.
I don't know if they're gonna do that, but yeah, I was looking a little bit. I mean, I don't know. Right now, maybe healed. We'll see. But
Tyler
that's
Hero.
Tyler Hero. Marketing just. I don't think he's quick enough to do it. I don't think he's that quick. But
Man, I hope,
Oh yeah, marketing. Yeah.
I hope the NBA does do something like they try to do something with the slam dunk contest. Bring it back, man, because I think people would get excited about it again. But they just need the big names. That's it.
ooh,
I
different stuff here. Ooh, I like this.
for the betting on the All-Star game.
Yeah, like they got a round one money ball rack. So each player, like for instance, I don't know, marketing. What is it? The over and under. He makes the over and under is at 3.5. So 3.5 on the first round. What is it on the money? The first round money ball rack. So whatever the money ball rack, I guess they pick where it's gonna be. Do the players pick where the money ball rack is? Used to be like in the middle, right?
Yes, I think they do. Most of them do it like in the middle, but they get to pick. Yep.
I love betting. But let's see before we wrap it up. Anything else you guys want to add? Anything you want to bring up? Any NBA topics, baseball topics, football topics? I can't remember.
I'll look it up. Fucking Dwayne Wade.
Fuck that guy. No, I'm kidding.
So I'm just gonna leave you guys with a teaser. Maybe this is a future conversation, but something to think about because I think we're already like close to an hour something. So this Mahomes winning the championship, and there's talks about like, you know, what does he have to do to catch Brady, or can he catch Brady? You know, and they're talking about like, well, this already has 2, you know, regular season MVPs, and you know, like Brady had 3 Super Bowls, but he wasn't really, you know, the man, and he, like other people won the Super Bowl MVP, then blah blah blah. You know, the numbers too, like Mahomes, one of his seasons in his first 5 years is like almost better than any season Brady ever had in his 23 years, right? Stat wise, like yards and all that stuff. So it leads me to think this: what if LeBron's career had happened before Jordan's career? Because now they're talking about, well, Mahomes gotta have the body of work, you know, he's gotta get, you know, 4 or 5 rings. He doesn't have to get all 7 because of his stats. He's gotta get close to or pass him in yards. And in you know, like these stats, like yards, touchdowns, like all this shit. If LeBron had come before Jordan, wouldn't we be saying the same thing about Jordan? Like he'll be coming in like a fucking stud, you know, with obviously he came in at like 28 points as a rookie, and then fucking like in his 3rd year, 30 something, 35, 37. Wouldn't we be saying like, and then I'll just leave it at, we don't have to answer, like, he needs to, in order to catch LeBron, we need to see his full body of work. Can he play for 20 seasons? Can we average 30 points on season 20? Can he be the all-time leading scorer? Can he be top 5 in assists? Can he be top 10 in steals? Like all this shit, you know what I mean? Like we would be flipping the conversation a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I think we should revisit that.
It's gonna be hard convincing that he's, you know, I mean I like the guy, but it's gonna be hard convincing some of these Brady fanboys that, you know, that Mahomes is better than Brady.
Right.
But he's still good. He's on pace. I mean, shit, like the way he's done his first 5 years, it's amazing. But you know,
but do you agree, right? It's too early.
Yeah, it's too early because it's definitely too early. But I said, you know, but then like you know how we talk about like forget about accolades, like just about the player itself. Like Mahomes is a better quarterback than Tom Brady. Obviously, he played longer. He finished his career. He just retired. He accomplished more. But you put Mahomes in those Patriots teams, like I think they win more. They win more. Like it's
Everybody's talking that it's a given that he's gonna win more Super Bowls. I'm not so sure. Like,
Oh,
I want to say, yeah, maybe because he's that good. He's got Andy Reid, but come on, Joe Burrow is good.
Right.
Josh Allen is good. Hurts is really good, man. Like, I see the Eagles being around, so it's not a guaranteed. Nobody knows.
Justin Fields. Bringing Justin Fields in the conversation. No, it's but yeah. The reason I was gonna get into since we brought up betting, then it's not something I'm gonna bet it. Yeah, I probably will, or just something to keep in mind. I was looking at the Jets and Raiders to win the Super Bowl.
Oh shit.
Oh, Jets or Raiders?
Yeah,
What do you think the Raiders are gonna get for?
that's what I'm saying,
One of them is gonna get Aaron Rodgers.
that's what I'm saying, because the odds are good. Get it while the getting is good. Raiders are plus 4,000 right now. Plus 4,000 is a good chunk of change. Good odds. And if they get someone like Aaron Rodgers, I'm not saying that they're a favorite, or but they have a good shot, man. You got Waller, you got Adams, you got Jacobs. They have and I'm sure if they get a guy like Rodgers, those odds are cut by more than half. More than half. Same thing with the Jets, and I think they're like at plus 2,800 or something like that. Those are good odds.
What are the Bears?
The Arlington Heights Bears.
The Arlington.
This was shits and giggles. Let's look at what the Bears do. But
I saw the Sox were at plus 2,200.
Let's go run it.
That's what I was saying.
Bet the house, baby. Let's go.
How much?
The house. The fucking house.
I'm gonna send you 100 to bet on the White Sox.
Let's look at that. Let's see.
Is that illegal? Should I not be saying this on camera?
The Packers are plus 3,500. That's, I guess, because they don't know if Rodgers is gonna be back yet. But let's look at I'm betting they're plus 2,500. Raiders are plus 4,000. The White Sox are plus.
I didn't even think of what like our betting thing would be.
I think we just winged it, but I didn't pick a sure pick, but something I've been thinking over the last couple of days are those two, like maybe the Raiders because better odds. Raiders are plus 6,500. White Sox. Look at the White Sox. White Sox. The lock of the week. White Sox. You heard it first. You heard it here first. White Sox win the World Series. Announce that in here yourself. Plus 3,000. Plus 3,000.
3,000 right now? Okay, I saw it on the Fox Sports 1. They had a plus 22. I'll take it at 3,000. Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they do something. No,
what about 49ers? What did the 49ers get Aaron Rodgers? Fucking.
Oh, you got a good deal with Purdy. You can sign a bunch of players if Purdy comes back.
Well, send them Trey Lance and Garoppolo for Aaron Rodgers.
I think they're gonna want Purdy. He's the one that's actually. But I said I don't know why you get paid Rodgers all that money. I mean, you get like a Super Bowl out of him, maybe. With Purdy, you probably have a good chance. Like,
but you
didn't get hurt. Do they
going to the Raiders or the Jets?
Huh? I think isn't that the two teams that the people talk about the most? So that's why I brought that up. But yeah, you get Rodgers, maybe you win one. Purdy, I think. Like if he doesn't get hurt against the Eagles, like I don't know if they get steamrolled. Like I don't know what kind of.
Good point. Isn't Rodgers like on day 3 of his darkness, whatever the fuck he's doing?
Oh, I don't know, but he was on the Pat McAfee show talking about it. But yeah, I said with Purdy and McCaffrey, Debo, well, they could probably run the ball, take top possession. They could have maybe beat the Eagles. I don't know if they want to go for Julio. You went for the 49ers, right?
They're gonna be higher than every other team you mentioned right now.
What's some basketball? I'm lost over here. NFL.
Favorite has to be what?
I probably go better at XFL too, but whatever. 49ers at plus 900.
is the favorite to
See
win
the
next.
600.
The
Bills.
Chiefs are favorite, right? At like plus 450, and then I think you got
Eagles.
Bills,
Bills.
Eagles, Bengals, and for some reason I think the Cowboys are still up there.
I was a plus 1500, but yeah, they're like the sixth favorite. 49ers are above them. After that is Ravens, Chargers, Jaguars, Lions, Jets, Rams, Dolphins, blah blah blah.
All right,
But
so
yeah.
give us a pick. Something that's going on this weekend.
Oh man, let's go with Team LeBron, baby. Minus 145. Team LeBron has a feel. Le GM. Team Le GM. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to build a roster. That's my lock of the week.
Love it.
Fuck. That's my AP pick of the week too.
Let's go. Just run it. So
now you gotta,
you gonna make a
you gotta go. Giannis
I gotta go with Giannis. And I want LeBron to lose in his
he's gonna
record-setting season.
He's gonna do it again.
Get another. Hey, and then to throw in the last, hater. Wasn't it
do
great?
it. Bring it.
Wasn't it just so LeBron that he breaks the record and they fucking lose?
Oh, what?
But it doesn't matter, right? That they
They had Westbrook.
You waited to the end of the episode to fucking bring it up, didn't you?
Yeah, now you want to take a cheap shot. You can't defend himself.
My battery's dying. I just got a little notification.
Yeah, you see me yawning. I
I'm
want to go to
gonna have
bed.
to cut like fucking 15 minutes.
Yeah. You see Carlos yawning. He's going to sleep already. You got to wake up early. Take a shot at me.
After he broke the record and they had that stupid 20-minute delay of game, and
It wasn't that long.
I went to bed and I woke up. The first thing I checked was to see if he had lost, and yeah, sure enough, they fucking lost the game.
But they didn't have D'Angelo
He didn't-
Russell there and Beasley.
He didn't play. I think he played like a minute in the fourth quarter because he had that injury. So I told Sal this. I saw it on that show Speak. It's really quick. So the number 38, right? So LeBron is 38 years old, right? He scored 38 points the day that he broke the record. To break the record, you needed 38,388 points. He broke it on the 38th day of the month. So February 7th, so it's 31 days in January plus 7 days in February, 38 days. Isn't that fucking crazy?
That is nuts. How do people even fucking figure that out? That's so crazy.
You think he stopped on purpose at 38? Like he passed it at 36 points, right? And then he came back for like a minute in the fourth quarter, hit that layup, and
He might. He's so obnoxious. He probably.
Oh, come on, cut it out, man. You're taking shots at him. I'm too tired to defend him right now. You know what? We're talking about the Lakers a half hour ago or more. Now you're going to.
And I know we're signing off, but real quick, did you guys see the Tank Davis? Look up his story.
What did he do?
Ryan Garcia, and he pleaded guilty to a bunch of charges, and now I think he's gonna go to jail maybe for a little bit.
Davis is gonna go to jail.
Well, I don't know if it'll be like a short sentence or whatever, but yeah, he pleaded guilty to, I think, running over a couple of people in Las Vegas last year or something. But I just saw the little blurb, like they've been talking shit. In the Super Bowl, he was being wheeled around in a wheelchair. He looked like shit. So I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Like, I don't know what the hell.
He's not gonna fight.
No, it doesn't seem like it. So
I just got an email from the Zone. Now they want $230 a year for their fucking yearly membership.
I finally canceled it, man. Ever since Canelo started doing his own,
it was $100 before. Now they want
$100, and you got all the Canelo fights, and they don't even put on good fights anymore, man. Like they're not, So I finally canceled my subscription. I'm not gonna do them no more.
You heard that? Go people, just cancel the Zone. Send a message.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the whole. Not Ryan Garcia's be like, it was, it's on him that the fight's not gonna happen. I don't know what the hype is with Ryan Garcia. I just like, he's just like, I think he's just more into being an influencer than fucking boxing. He hasn't beat anybody, but he runs his mouth like he's that good. If I had a bet right now, I think Davis mops the floor with that guy.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I
think
think
he's more interested in being influencer on Instagram and TikTok and also improving. He wants to be cute. I mean, so be it. Yeah, you actually get paid and you don't gotta get hurt. But man, it's just like I don't get what the hype is about this guy. I just don't fucking get it, man.
Fair enough. Yep.
That would have been my lock of the week too. Davis or just knock out by the 8th round.
There you go.
But let's see what happens. Whatever, the fight might not even happen no more.
Right.
All right. So the Giannis and two Team LeBrons, right?
That's it, man.
Hey, maybe you'll tune in this Sunday.
Watch this when you're watching it and Giannis is picking his team. You're gonna be like, "Oh, come on! Like, what the fuck are you?"
That's a third center, you moron!
His number one pick, from the reserves, it was like Chris Middleton because it's his teammate. Like,
Why? Like, stupid.
Like he's having fun, too much fun with it. Take it a little serious. You can tell his brain is calculating. He's smiling. He has a teeth, and he's having fun with it. But if you look deep in his eyes, LeBron's calculating. Like calculating.
I'm gonna tune in for that one. I'm excited.
You're gonna miss that one.
I might. When is it?
Sunday. This weekend.
This Sunday, and then
the dunk contest and all that jazz is Saturday.
On Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably see that.
I watch that. I still like watching that. You know what? I'm just like a kid at heart when I watch that stuff. But it's fun. It's fun. Maybe
you gotta tune in. Maybe I don't know who these guys are that are dunking. I don't know a bunch of them, but maybe they'll make it interesting. Like I didn't know Aaron Gordon was gonna be that good.
Right, that's true.
How about
even when Zach LaVine did it? Oh,
I had seen Zach LaVine, like dunk in games, and I could see that he was good, but I didn't know Aaron Gordon was that good.
Let's go real quick. Favorite dunk performance.
Luis.
Oh, Luis. Oh, that face. Only face mother could love. Where'd you go, Luis?
That's the one you gotta use for the goat face.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. All right, man. There it is. You got so much.
I gotta log him off. Can you hear us?
His laptop just died. So on that note, I think it's time to sign off. Anything you want to say to our fans on that?
No. Keep on watching. It's gonna get better.
Yeah, keep supporting. I promise you, it's gonna get better. We're
gonna start putting our email at the bottom of the episodes. You guys could email us topics that you want to see. Anything.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, just keep supporting. One day you guys will watch this, something like that, and yeah. I feel bad. Poor Luis. I'm sure he had some better. Are you guys signing off? Today's the charges. I think we're gonna sign off, right? He's gonna get his charge. I don't think we got time for that stuff. We're gonna sign off. Yeah. On that note, thanks for your support. We'll see each other soon next week. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for everything.
Next week, episode 10, dude.
Oh, number 10, the Big 10. We'll think about something there. We'll do something special. Yeah, we'll do something special with that.
All right.